there, caterpillars and caribou. Welcome to Basically Misled.
I'm Dagny.
And I'm Day.
We give advice. 50% is life-changing, 50% will leave you crying in a stairwell by the end of the day. You decide which is which.
Come procrastinate with us while we chatter endlessly about the things you could probably just Google.
Today we are welcoming our special guest, Sara.
Hi.
Sara.
Hi.
I'm Sara, she, her pronouns, and I'm a junior at Evergreen.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
How exciting.
Yeah.
Does it feel good to be a junior, or do you feel like it's the wrong part of the end?
Oh, I think it's good. It's a lot more challenging than I expected. I think I've heard a lot about junior year being, like, you know, a lot of work, a lot of time management, and, like, you have to also focus on, like, oh, where do you want to take your education? Like, do you want to, like, thinking about grad schools? Do you want to, like, what are you going to major in? At least with Evergreen's case, you know, if the focus is sort of vague as fuck. Can I swear?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm, like, trying to navigate all of that while, like, getting used to, like, I mean, it's already sort of been a quarter, so I should be used to it by now, but, like, I don't feel like I'm used to the course load. Maybe it's just our class, too.
It's
I
our
don't know.
class. It's our class.
I don't know. But, I mean, I think it's good. I've been, like, jumping around a lot with, like, 16 credits versus, like, 4 credits and 8 credit mixes. 16 credits usually are easier.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I did that too last quarter. I had, like, a mix, and it was way more than 16 credits.
Yeah.
Just in one class.
Which is, like, so crazy. It's just, like, I don't know. I feel like, also, I often take art classes that are in different studios with 4 credits, so I think that even adds more to it. But then our art class is still, like, psych and art, so it's, like, still got some of those, like, different aspects that take a lot of time in each section.
Right.
You know, with 2 different teachers still within the same 16 credit program, so it's still a little bit of that, like, double class thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, we have 2 papers due at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Big ones.
no.
I always wonder, like, at other schools if it's, like, harder with more classes or if it's, you know what I mean? Because it just would work so much differently than Evergreen. Like, I don't know. And maybe it's not even worth comparing, but I'm always curious. Oh, like, is one, like, harder, per se, than the other? But that's, like, so dichotomous, to be honest, you know?
Yes.
Like, it's, like, not, like, one's better than the other or one's harder than the other. It's just, like...
They're different.
Yeah, for different people, too, you know? Maybe
it's a different experience.
Yeah, maybe I find Evergreen a lot easier than someone else would. But,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what your skill set might be as well, like,
Totally.
naturally, because I've always been, like, a really good test taker, but some people aren't, and so I think if you go into an environment where there's a lot of tests, maybe I'm better at it just because it's tests, not because of what I'm learning, you know what I mean? I mean, I honestly think, though, I probably lost my test-taking skill because it's been years.
Like,
but
I'm like, I don't know if you've heard about this, but I really dislike tests
Yes.
a lot, and I got very angry at our teacher for giving us one. Which, I mean, like, I get the whole point of tests. Like, I get that they're, like, useful in you know, like, in outside worlds besides Evergreen. But, like, to me, it's just, like, I've done tests for what, like over 12 years of schooling now. Like, I'm fine. I've, like, learned the skill. Like, I can sit and study and memorize something for, like, a whole day, 2 days maybe, because it takes me a long time, and then do really good on the test. But I'm not learning anything to me. I'm just memorizing dates and names. But then, like, I learn from the application of things, which I think is why I like Evergreen so much. But, like, to have to do that with a psychology class, we're, like, doing counseling skills and to, like, get tested on theories, when it's just like, oh, well, why don't we just, like, apply those theories to papers and, like, other things so I can actually, like, in-depthly learn this and apply it to my own life so I actually remember it past the week after the test. Because sometimes I'll forget, like, what I've tested on, like, literally 5 minutes after I take it.
Same.
I'm just, like, over it. I'm like, huh? Like,
right?
what?
'Cause
I don't know who that
being good at a
is.
test doesn't require you to remember anything beyond it.
Yeah.
It's for the test.
Yeah. And I was, like, talking to my teacher about it, and it was rough. It was like, it was just difficult because I think often when teachers see a student doing good on tests, it's just like, oh, you have nothing to worry about, you're fine. Just gain some confidence. It's like, but that's not it. I'm just telling you, like, I'm, like, not into test taking, period. So.
Yeah, I actually, though, last quarter, our teacher had us take, like, the same test over and over every single week, like, adding stuff on it. But the point of it was that you were repeating the knowledge over and over to remember it, and I do think that really did help with memory. So I don't know if you would really call it a test then, I guess, but it was actually like very helpful because like I still remember that stuff because I wrote it down like every single week answering it, and I had to like dig it up from my brain every week.
Yeah, totally. I think that counts as a test.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that. That'd be cool.
Right.
I mean, for our our midterm, I didn't study. I just like was kind of like stressing out so much that I didn't study, and like I did fine.
How'd you do?
I got like a 90.
Oh, what?
With like the bump. So really it was like an 88.
Same. Yeah, same actually.
Yeah.
But I like did study some. I had people quiz me, which I find really helpful.
Yeah.
So like, when someone's like, okay, what is this? And I'm like, but then I have to remember on the spot.
Right.
Which is helpful, but then I go through like the whole explanation. Mm-hmm. Not just like answering that
tiny
question.
Yeah. But for me, because like I get stressed about tests and I feel like I'm not a good test taker, so then it just makes me even more stressed out about it.
Yeah, totally.
And then I continue to like not study or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I do fine on the test and I'm like, oh, so I don't even need to do this.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine.
But
like,
also like, I mean, part of me is just like, okay, Sarah, what if you like didn't study and just like failed it? And just, like, was going in knowing that you failed it and it was, like, perfectly fine if you failed and then just move on with your life. Because, like, I think that would be good for me.
Yeah.
Because, like, I have a problem where I, like, really need to do good on everything and to do my best. Like, if I can study and do good, why not just study and do good? But...
yeah. I think that's why I'm at Evergreen. So I'm not constantly in that competitive need the better grade mode. Mm-hmm. And I'm more focused on, like, learning the skills, not worrying about if I'm getting an A in learning the skills or not.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you described, you have like that's like a good work ethic. People like that.
Yeah. I know. My boss loves that. Yeah. Everyone tells me I have a good work ethic. But it also like bites me in the ass because like I'll spend so much time doing that stuff rather than actually like taking care of myself, and then I actually won't remember things, or I actually won't learn things in depthly, or I won't be on my best. Like, I want to say behavior, but that's, like, totally not it. Of, like, just, like, being my best self the next day. And, like, actually, like, my work ethic goes down the more I work harder, if that makes sense. Because, like, I won't get enough sleep, I won't get exercise, I won't eat well, and I'm just, like, pushing myself to the limit, and then I crash and burn for a while. But then I get fine again. But I think I could totally prevent that process if I just take care of myself a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a linguistics quiz, and I was like, I did great on that. Then it comes back, and I'm like, I see I have all these little problems, but that's, like, most, like, linguistics, like, homework and stuff we have, because it's just a very, like, in-depth subject, so there's, like, always, like, slight, like, things, I guess. It's not, I'm not like, oh, now I failed. Mm-hmm. But I was like, oh, I did not do as good on this as I thought.
You told me, I don't know if this is for the same linguistics quiz or whatever, but she literally was like, Day, I haven't studied, and it's, like, in an hour. And then I was like, well, okay, like, do you feel confident? She's like, oh, it's fine, it's linguistics. Like, whatever I say works.
What?
Well, it's just, what I meant was that, like, this was, I think, for sentence structure.
Oh,
so
okay,
if you can make an
right.
argument for, like, if you understand how sentence structure works and you do a structure that's, like, wrong, you could always say, oh, I thought it, you can make an argument for different sentence structures, I guess. Even, like, linguists haven't decided that, like, the exact correct structure for every single sentence. So.
Totally.
But not this recent one.
Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to think of, like, what it was, but I forgot what I was going to say about it that I forgot on. But I think some of the instructions, I just, like, I wasn't used to reading instructions, like, on a test, I think. And so I think that did hurt me, because she was like, people could have read the instructions better. And I was like, oh, man.
Oops.
Because I used to be, like, the best at reading instructions. Like, did you ever get this in elementary school where the teacher would give you this, like, list of things to do, but the first thing on the list is read the entire list, and most people didn't do it, but the last thing on the list was, like, write your name in a sentence or something. And so then to do the entire thing, all you had to do is like one thing and then you're done. Yeah. But most people don't even read the list. And I was always like, yes, I am that person. I am so much better than everyone else.
Yeah, totally. I feel like I was like always that kid who, like, I just really love lists, I think, too. That's part of it. But I think I was like always that kid too, like just be like sort of overly perfectionist in that way to like make sure I understood and then like tell other people if they don't understand and then like get everyone on board. And like I always wanted to know like what was happening, so I was like in the loop. Yeah.
I can relate to that.
Do you have like a area of emphasis that you're like going toward right now?
Because the question
you've been taking a lot of art, so I was wondering.
Oh, I know. Well, like we were just working on academic statements in our class too, which was like is so rough for me because like I realized like I think I almost have more credits in psychology than I do in art. I don't know though, I have to do the math.
Yeah.
But like I have a lot of psych credits, like a weird amount. So I mean probably double it with art, like fine art or studio art and psychology, but those still feel very broad to me, you know? But then, like, part of me wants to be, like, really evergreen and be like, oh, I've been studying people in, like, different formats or whatever. Because that's, like, honestly, like, sort of how I feel about my academic statement of just, like, I've been studying people and, like, working with people, and that's just been, like, my focus is, like, learning from people. Like, because that encompasses, like, my job and my boss and, like, teachers and my classmates, not just, like, the subjects. Mm-hmm. You know? But I don't know. I think that's, like, very, like, that's, like, if art and psychology are over here, I'm like, oh, that makes sense to, like, the public. The people thing's, like, on the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you could actually do this, but you were talking about that mountain metaphor. Yeah. You can make people a metaphor.
Yeah. I've been sort of playing around with that, of just, like, the idea that, like, I've learned most things from people and, like, human interaction rather than, like, through text. Solely. I think that's like that's been like a very good aid in my learning, but it's not like the focus, you know. And even then it's people who are writing these things, so I just like learn from people better.
I think it would be really interesting to have that be your academic statement where you talk like about your classes but how they've influenced how you see people or like just observing from people how you've learned certain things.
I've actually been thinking about a very similar thing, is that I feel like when I was younger, like even like in high school, I basically used to joke about like I don't like people. You know, like I was very like, I don't know, I'm like I like to be alone, I like certain people, but like the masses I have to stay
too
much. Right? I'm like, no, I'm not into it. But I was thinking, I'm like, I feel like Evergreen has actually change that, because I do still like joke about it because I'm like, oh, like I'm an introvert, I need alone time, so I feel like it's just like a natural thing to make jokes about like everyone go away now. But it's more of just like a joke now, because I feel like even like strangers and like people I sort of know, I feel like I am more like grateful for or appreciative of their presence in the world somehow. And I'm actually like, so I feel like it has changed me in that way, that I don't know if that would have happened like at a different school.
Totally.
Because I think I could have just been like, I'm studying this, I go to like these places and I learn this, but like I feel like Evergreen has taught me to like people more. I don't know, maybe it would have happened at a different college, but we will never know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like Evergreen also promotes community within the classes. Maybe it's just my experience with art and psychology classes, but like we actually talk to each other as like classmates. And I think in a lot of other schools, you just like go to your first period, then like headphones in, you go to your next period, and then you like may talk to people, but it's not like that in-depth conversation that you would have during like group activities that we do, or seminars, you know, like where we actually have to interact with each other rather than just like sitting and like listening to a lecture, you know. But that's generalizing other schools too, you know. I'm sure there's different types. But,
maybe.
Yeah. It was funny though. I was like talking to someone about this like whole extrovert introvert thing because I think like last year in the prison industrial complex class that I took, there was like this one person in the class who like kept asking me like, oh, do you think you're an introvert or an extrovert? And I just would be like, I don't know. And then I started thinking about it a lot, and it's just like I'm both, because to me, like, there's different, like, people define introvert and extrovert very differently. Because it's just, like, one definition would be like, oh, where do you gain your energy? I'm like, well, I definitely gain energy being alone, but then, like, sort of spend the energy outwardly towards people. So I come across, like, very social. But then, like, you know, is it, like, preferred space? Or is it where you get your energy? And then I'm like, I don't think it's that simple, though, either, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
Yeah.
Let's go.
My definition of introvert is, I'm like, I have a definition of introvert and other people have one, but mine is right. So I'm not like that about all things, but I think because I've read, like, a couple books on it, and I do think that it's most usefully used and it's where you get your energy. And so it's one of my pet peeves when people are like, oh, I'm an introvert, except for I have extrovert moments because I like to hang out with other people. And I'm like, introverts aren't just, like, alone. People who live alone, isolated on a rock away from civilization. Yeah. Like, people are social creatures, but introverts, like, recharge from being alone. Also, another characteristic that has been said as an introvert is that introverts like to be more in depth with a few subjects, and extroverts tend to like to be like know more subjects but like need to know less about them, which I don't know if that's like true all over. I mean, this person like wrote a book and researched it and decided this was true. But I would tend to like believe it more, but I feel like that's definitely true for me. I don't like learning a broad array of things. I want to know, like, in depth my specific things, and things outside of it are not as fun to me. There's a third one, but I always forget it. It's 3 things.
Well,
that definition makes me an extrovert. That second
Same.
one, then, which I'm definitely an introvert. I feel like
I'm as well. Of like, I definitely recharge being alone.
Yeah.
Like, my room is my sanctuary. Like, I stay in my room, I'm in my room, I'm, like, doing my thing, I'm not talking. I go on a walk, I'm alone. Like, I need that time every day, like, multiple hours to be able to, like, deal with class. Or, like, communicate, or, like, you know, do my job. But then I think, like, I don't know, because people always label me as an extrovert. Always. And I think I do see and notice that, like, I do have strong social skills. And I can just, like, sort of play that role and step into that moment. And I don't know why. I just can. But, like, I don't get energy from it. I'm just, like, I feel good at just, like, throwing all my energy out. If that makes sense.
Yeah. When I work, I feel like I turn on a different switch because I have to have good customer service skills and, like, always be ready to just be chipper and talk to somebody. But I don't, like, having interactions with customers, I don't, like, gain energy. Like, I go home and, like, I'm tired.
Yeah,
and, like, I have to, like, do me time type stuff.
And I think it's, like, it also adds into worth ethic, too, like you were talking about earlier. Of just, like, I will have a better worth ethic if I put more energy into the outside world, you know, rather than into myself. Because then if I did that all day, I really wouldn't do much, you know?
Right. I mean, it's also, like, I think really described as, like, a spectrum, so you can be more or less.
Yeah.
Like, so you can be in the middle or you could be on one side. So when somebody says you're an introvert, to me that means, like, you're just slightly over middle and all the way to, like, a super introvert. True. Which is, like,
and it's fluid, I think, too. A little bit.
What I've heard is that when people get older, they move closer toward the middle. Because you're more, like, because you've been, like, doing the other thing that the other side does, I guess, until it becomes just more natural, so you just tend to move more. But, like, you are an introvert, but you are constantly in communication with other people in a way that I could never, like, I'm definitely, like, very introverted compared to you, so if you are an introvert, I would say it's very
more towards the middle.
Yeah, it's definitely more towards the middle, so even though you do, like more subjects, I feel like that's just because you're more toward the middle.
I'm probably someone that way too, because, like, thinking back to, like, what I'm, like, focusing in an evergreen, it's just, like, I can't pick. I'm, like, even in the arts, though, I think that's why I feel like that's so broad. I've done, like, so many different types of art and just, like, dabbled in them all and then, like, jumped to the next thing. So I think that I'm, like, a similar in that way. But I think I've also, like, lessened the amount of energy I put towards other people. I've, like, been, like, sort of lessening people who are close to me in my life. Like, I keep wanting to use, like, the analogy of, like, weeding out people.
Okay, yeah.
But I feel so mean. Like, that sounds terrible, but, like, it's accurate because, like, I'm looking at unhealthy relationships and I'm like, you know what? I want to spend more time on me and more energy on me. So I just gotta, like, let that go, you know, and leave room for other things. So I might be, like, moving towards, I don't know where I'm moving, but I'm moving somewhere.
You're on a journey somewhere. Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely lately kind of been in the same thing where I'm like, okay, you're not putting energy towards me. I'm not going to put energy towards you.
Exactly.
And then I'm also like, oh, noticing this about myself. I'm like, oh, maybe I should, like, be aware of myself more and, like, figure things out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like, I've been looking at my social web lately, and I'm like,
I like that.
I'm laughing. She's very scared about certain things. Or not scared, but you just come to me and you're like...
Flinch.
Yeah. You're just like, Day, I'm worried about our social group. And like,
yes, I am worried about our social group, and I'm sure they won't listen to this.
Social web.
Yeah.
My social web, and I've realized I'm like, it's lacking to me, so I'm not, like, as much as, like, getting rid of people. I'm more into, like, replacing people, which is honestly worse than you. Because you're just like, I need time for myself, and I'm like, I need someone new and better.
It's hard, though, dude. It's hard, because
It's
I
so
used to be
hard.
that way. And I think I still am a little bit, to be honest, if I'm being honest. But, like, it's so hard to be like, you know what? Let's just, like, be with yourself for a little bit. Because I'm like, I always, like, see a lot of good in people, so I'll think, oh, but that person was nice. Maybe I should contact them again. Or maybe I should, like, reach out because I haven't talked to this person in, like, 3 years. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
Why? Like, if I'm trying to put energy toward myself, why am I doing this to, like, far out branches, you know? Like, it's just, like, ridiculous. But I get that. Of, like, if I guess it's, like, less replacing people like you. It's more of, like, going back in time to, like, look at past relationships and be like, there was something good there. I can go back.
Yeah, see, I'm like, I don't think I have anyone that's, like, a good candidate for doing that. So I'm like, I need all new people.
None of mine are good candidates. Like, let's have that.
I'm like, I need some fresh people in.
I think
the
that's
new
more
shinier
positive.
model.
Yeah.
Friend.
Yeah.
I think that's positive. Because, like, I think that's asking for growth, too. At least having more people in your life.
I definitely think for us, like, freshman year, which was now 2 years ago?
That was
2
crazy.
full
Years ago.
or 3 years
Crazy.
ago. Like,
Whoa.
yeah.
Lifetime ago.
Right. But the friends we made then, like, they've grown and we've grown. And I think for me, I'm realizing that maybe we're not growing in the same way. Mm-hmm. So I do
or
need
at the same pace.
Or at the same pace. So I do need different people. And also I'm kind of like, haha, I'm leaving at the end of this year and I'm going to a different state.
Yeah.
I'm just done with certain people.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's, like, liberating, too, to have that.
Yeah.
Of, like, you know, nothing's gonna really last forever. So, like, you're, like, there's less pressure, almost. And it's just, like, this more, like, natural, okay, like, cool, let's hang out. And then we'll go our separate ways and maybe see each other again. Or maybe not. And, like, that
Unless you
constant...
have this one who's just stressed about it. Tiny's
I
just like, we have to find people.
I just want to be
But people
friends
will
with people
find you.
and just, like, latch on and be like, let's be friends past college. And, like, obviously there's, like, room for, like, other people, I guess.
Yeah.
But
She guesses.
everyone
Go
is
find
just
the gems.
laughing. Right? But I think when I hang out with people who I, like, really, like, connect with, then it's just, like, it's less tiring, it takes less energy, and you get more out of it. So I feel like that's what I...
But, like, do you think
have.
it ever, like, by being like, oh, latch on, do you think that has an effect on the other person?
I'm not... I don't know. Do you think it does? You see my behavior.
I don't know. I feel like I haven't observed that with or like
Yeah,
observe
'cause
you
you guys are
with that
also
in mind.
friends and looking at that friendship, but while still in it. You know what I
Right.
mean, too?
I feel like, I don't know, maybe when you latch on, you go in with different intentions than that other person. So it
Yeah.
might...
Or faster intentions, you know, because
Yeah.
you're more serious quicker in a way.
Yeah.
Right, so then it
I get
is harder.
Jump right in, Daddy.
I think also going back to love languages, though, like different people have different things they need from friendships.
Yeah.
So yours is you need to latch on to people, whereas, and it just, like, they're not seeming as fast or something. It's just different.
I have that so often. Like, well, like, I love the term love languages. This always happens with crushes, too. Like, let's be real. Like,
Yeah.
I think I'm on one page and I want one thing and I'm just, like, going after this one thing, but the other person's like, whoa, like, what's going on? And I'm like, no, what do you want? And they're like, I don't fucking know. Like, what are you doing? Like, back off. And I think, like I just used to, or I say it's, like, different wavelengths. Like,
Yeah.
someone's just, like, totally on a different ride, on different
Right.
wave.
I mean, it is true. I think now in my life, I'm pretty certain about what I want from specific people, and I will tell them about it.
Yeah, the honesty.
And so when people are like, I don't know, we just need to, like, leave it out in the open, I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah. Like, clarify? Like, I get that. And I think I'll be like, I can be very blunt, and I think I can catch people off guard sometimes. And something that they didn't see coming or didn't think about yet. And for me to, like, demand an answer or, like sort of shove myself in them, like, they need a bit to then, like, reflect and then come back. But then we can have a conversation again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am pretty patient though, so
That's good.
When I want to latch on, I am sometimes like I am hesitant to, but then once I've latched on, that's when it's bad because sometimes I need to just let people go, but I've already latched on,
Yeah.
and so I just keep them around. It's just like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
It's like an annoying pigeon that keeps following you around.
Oh, like a barnacle.
That.
I have a friend I used to call a barnacle. But it sounds so bad, I know. But it was like, I was a boat. And she just latched on like a barnacle and was just living off me.
I
I've had, but to me, I describe a lot of the unhealthy relationships that I've had in my life, like, especially, like, really close friendships.
Yeah.
When it gets sort of messy when you're super close. Like that. But I think it's, like, a specific type of latch. Like, it was like, oh, I need you, you help me, I'm gonna use you latching. You know? It wasn't just like, oh, I just want to, like, latch onto you and hang out with you. It's like, no, I'm gonna feed off of you. You know, like a barnacle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Does a barnacle feed off a boat?
I don't know. Do they eat the algae? Or I don't know how
I mean,
barnacles
why
work.
else? They use it to get places, at least.
Yeah.
Yes, they do use it.
Yeah.
To
Great connection. I don't know. Barnacles to me
Metaphor
are like
solid.
aggressive, like, because you can't get them off, I guess.
Oh, that's right.
But they're not really aggressive creatures. They just
I'm
hang
just
out.
thinking of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Same.
Yeah, just
never
like
seen
barnacles. Oh, we
Yeah.
should watch it. It's fun.
Oh, you haven't seen
Barnacles.
Oh my god, that's like one of my favorite movies of all time, or movie series. Like, seriously,
I have the urge to watch it a lot. I just never
we
do.
should watch it too. I haven't seen it in years.
Let's watch it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Watch it.
What were we talking about?
Barnacle.
Well, okay. I guess
Friends,
unhealthy friends, things
Unhealthy
like that.
friendships.
I've noticed, I may have said this before, but my friendships that don't work out are ones that I've made with people really fast.
Yeah.
So it's like I talked to somebody, like there was this girl in high school that I talked to, and then we became friends because we were in like the first 3 classes together or something. And then I realized like halfway of like being really close with this person that, oh, I don't resonate well with this person.
I
Like,
totally get you.
and then I'm bad and I just stop talking to them.
I think it's like circumstantial too, because sometimes
Yeah.
like I'll have like my classroom friends, or like I'll bond with someone over a negative situation, but then once that situation ended, we're really close. But then that just like sort of gets like you just dive into that friendship, but then I'll find out like, oh, this is like actually not what I want. But
Right.
I've already like we just like went in.
Yeah.
You know, and had this like crazy experience together.
Definitely.
And it's even worse with roommates because you're like, I get a good vibe, and then
That's literally what happened with my roommates. Like
Yeah.
we were living together in the apartments on campus actually, and like that was good, and we were both very like frustrated with the situation that we were currently living in with another roommate who had 2 people squatting for like months and like using our fridge and like showering. Like I would have to wait like hours to shower. Like they would never buy toilet paper. It's just like, guys, and like they made the person who actually lived there sleep on the couch because they snored and like he couldn't deal with it because he couldn't sleep. It was such a fucked up situation. But so like me and my current roommate like bonded over that situation because we were both like, oh, this is terrible, at least we're okay. Right? And then we got close really fast, and then we were friends with some other people and we all like connected, so we decided to live together again because we were like basically best friends. But then now it's just like I'm realizing, wow, like she's sort of annoying, and like that sounds terrible. I hope she doesn't. But I mean, it's okay. It's okay if she does. I think it would probably be a good thing because then I would be forced to be honest about it.
Yeah.
But like, she's very selfish and self-focused, I guess is the best way to describe it. And I'm not. And for her to be that self-focused and me to be like, how can you not see other people's needs? Is just like very clashing. Like the ultimate clash for me.
Yeah.
So I think that's where like she tends to be manipulative in that sense because she's only thinking she's self-focused. And like she knows her needs and she will get what she wants and she's very demanding. But then I'm also like, I can be demanding, but I'm also like thinking about other people. So I think when those two mix, it's just like the barnacle thing. It's like the leeching off of whatever I'm giving, and then it gets unhealthy real fast. And then to live together and have that happen is like it's a little rough. So like I've had to set boundaries, but those boundaries are so difficult. Like the other day, she like came up to me first thing in the morning and just like yanked on my hair. And then I was like,
no, I would not be happy.
And then I was like, ow. And she's like, that didn't hurt. And then walks into her room. And I was like,
what?
Why the fuck are you just saying that didn't hurt? You just yanked on my hair. You don't know how I feel? And then I was like instantly pissed, but I've been trying not to react as much because she's like asking for it because she's poking because she wants me to react.
Yeah.
Because she wants me to interact with her because she misses me type deal.
Right.
I think, at least. But like, why would I want to hang out or talk to her right after she pulled my hair? Like, it's like a child thing. You know, like when you like pull on a girl's ponytail or whatever if you have a crush on her or something.
Yeah.
It's just like, no. Like, don't go pulling my hair first thing in the morning and then tell me it didn't hurt. I'm bitter, clearly.
Wow. How long have you been living with her then?
God.
Like after the apartment?
I don't even know how long it's been. Probably a few months, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. But get this, one our other roommate's moving out, and I have a suspicion it might be because of her.
Oh.
Because she's moving out. She told us after she had decided, and she's moving out in the 1st of December. Mm-hmm. So what's before December?
November.
The
month we're in right now.
Yeah, duh. This is how lost I am in school.
Yeah.
But she told us at like the beginning of November.
Okay.
Which means she's already thought about it for a while. But I'm pretty sure Talia moved in September. Like the end of September.
Oh.
So like, that's real quick, right? It says, and like for me, if I'm thinking about moving out, I have to go look at a place, talk to a person, talk to the landlord, and she already had all of that done. You know? So it's just like,
wow.
That sort of makes sense. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is sort of makes me feel better. Maybe some energy. She will, she like, I want to just say judgmental. She'll come across very judgmental and like very mean and like, or maybe not mean, just like closed off, like shut face, like sort of like, okay, you need to break my wall and then I'll be nice to you type deal. But I need to like assess you first. It's just like, no, like, you're trying to be nice to people, let people, like, you know, you want to feel a little warmth when you talk to someone, or, like, acknowledge that they care or listen to you, or, like, are talking to you for a reason, but she just sort of was like, we were meeting new roommates.
Yeah.
And she just, like, literally, this poor person was just, like, very socially awkward, just very nervous, wouldn't really make eye contact. Totally fine. I was talking to him for, like, a while, and it was great. But then she's just this, like staring at a chair like this. It's like scrunched up face, looking like disgusted, like she smelled moldy socks or something. Like it was just like so bad, and I noticed it, and then I just was like, oh my god, like this is like, I'm just like wondering what it feels like for other people to like meet her for the first time with like that facial expression, and like no one's gonna want to live with you with that facial expression. That's my rant.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I have roommate issues as well, and Dagny and I had roommate issues last year because we lived together.
They picked those roommates, by the way.
Yeah, I picked the roommates. I was still friends.
I picked this too.
Yeah, I was still friends with one of them, and then it was like
rough, man.
her roommate. But then after we picked it, because at Evergreen you have to pick by like January, so we had it all set up, and then I kind of stopped talking to this person. So then when we went to live with them, it was fine, but then they had very like strict things they wanted, and we had strict things we wanted, and it got worse over time. And then we were like, we can never have that again. And now I feel like, I don't know, I might be having that.
Well, you were telling me about your allergies too, right?
Yeah, it's just been like a lot of things, I think. And something that I've always taken with me that my mom told me is you never truly know someone till you've lived with them. And I mean, she was telling me more about like romantic interests.
But it applies to everything.
It applies to everything. And so like we start rooming with our friend who's great. You know, it's a great setup. But then that friend and I have a fight. And now I just am like, don't always want to socialize with her, but then I live with her. Yeah. And then I like start seeing all these little things that I feel like aren't respectful of me. But then I actually have to voice them because sometimes so I don't. And Dagny pushes me to be honest about everything.
I do. I'm all for everyone communicating in the house because it's easier for me.
Yeah.
No, it's easier for everyone to be honest.
It is. It's not really just for me. I want people to, because what I see is that the biggest escalation of roommate problems that I've been a part of are when everybody has things they're thinking, but they don't tell each other, so that in everyone's mind, they're giving 70% to the situation and the other person is giving 30%. But when both people think that, it's just a disaster because both people are thinking, I'm the one making allowances for you. And then, like, that's just, like, not a good situation.
And, like, I think that's where I'm at, too. And then I'm, like, wondering about the roommate that's moving out. And, like, she really doesn't tell us much about anything. Like, we don't really have roommate meetings. We don't talk about issues. It's just, like, this, like, passive-aggressive, like, oh, can you buy olive oil next time? And be like, oh, I just bought a bottle. Oh, well, I bought 2 last time. Oh, well, I just got paper towels. It's just, like, these, like, really weird passive-aggressive shit. It's frustrating and confusing and aggravating. So. Yeah.
Well, when we were, like, picking our roommates for last year, I was, like, good. I'm, like, got Day, good. Day knows people, good. So I was just, like, they're people. They want to live with us. It's not strangers, like, success. Yeah. But now, like, Day is going to be leaving, and so we'll have, like, another, like, roommate spot to fill. And I'm, like, we need to, like, interview people, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, really be selective, because we can probably afford to be selective.
Definitely.
Right now. But even with that, how do you tell if someone is good living material? Like you said, like, you don't really know someone until you live with them. Yeah. Anyone can seem really nice for, like, 30 minutes if you're, like, meeting them.
The person that we ended up picking, we only Skyped with because she lives on the East Coast.
Oh.
So, but I mean, like, it's again, all based off judgment. And it's just, like, it's hard because my other roommate has a very strict idea of what, like, she wants. And this person fit that. But also, like, you never know. You know?
They could just be saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
I'm like, what sort of invasive questions can I ask someone to, like, make them reveal their true self early?
Without being, like, too, like, aggressive. Like, right when they come in the door, like, okay, like, like, let me, like, assess you. How often do you clean? Or I don't even know, it's not that aggressive. But, like, I don't know. Like,
what time do you go to bed and when do you brush your teeth?
When do you shower?
Yeah.
How long do you shower? Have you timed it before?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Do you talk to your parents? I don't know. How addicted are you to TV or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
or list all of our current worst roommate qualities and then see how compatible that sounds to them.
but then, like, that could also become, like, so passive, too.
Right.
Because you're like, oh, this one time we had this issue. What do you think about that? You know?
Right.
Yeah. Where are you going? Are you moving, like, soon?
Once I graduate, I'm moving to a different state. I don't
Did
know
you
which
just sign?
state.
Oh, okay. We talked about this a little
She's
bit.
I
leaving
know.
the state.
I feel like it will probably be Colorado, Nevada, or apparently now Texas.
Whoa. You should talk to... I'll tell you later, but someone in
Okay.
the class is thinking about going to Texas.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like it really matters where in Texas. There's only one
Yes.
place in Texas that I think is a legit place to live.
So,
Austin?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Dagny, once Dagny graduates, she will come
Yeah.
to
Yes.
me,
Yeah.
and we will live together
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So, it's really like where I want to go, but also where she wants to
Yeah.
go. And also, I think it's just, I'm looking at colleges in those places and seeing which one has the best PhD program for me.
You decided on a PhD?
I think so. I mean, I'm realizing it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah.
It's just more like where I'm living, and whichever one will give me what I need.
Cool.
So it's fine.
Cool.
But yeah, so it's like which one is most targeted to what I want, and then kind of moving there.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Scoping the lay of the land, getting a friend group together so I can just arrive and fit smoothly in. No work for myself.
No, well, you're going to want to, like, what you were talking about, find the better gems, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Go through.
Yep.
Yeah.
Find out where the local lesbians hang out and just point me in that direction. You
Dive
don't-
in!
You don't need to get to know
I've, like,
them, but
never
just...
been to a gay bar, and I've always wanted to go. But, you know, there's Jay's downtown, but it's not really a gay bar anymore.
Oh.
I've only ever been to one bar, and it definitely was...
Oh.
Actually, I don't know if it was... It was...
Was it here?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
here. I don't know if it was
It was
a
like
gay
a month
bar.
What was it
ago.
called? What was it called?
Jake's.
Jake.
Oh, Jake's. Yeah. Did I say Jay's? That's what I meant. Jake's.
Oh.
Sorry. No, Jake's used to be, like, super, like, known to being, like, a gay bar.
So that's
But it's
where
not
I've
as...
been to.
But
Bam.
it's not as, like, gay, apparently, anymore. Or whatever.
There's...
I've only gone on, like, a Tuesday night, so, like, no one was there.
One of my bosses owns a wine bar, I believe.
Huh.
And they have a bunch of, like, queer events that happen.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
think. I'm not really sure. But I don't know much about it. I just know that they do certain things and
Yeah.
stuff. So, there's that, I guess.
Queer events.
Yeah, it's like passing, like looking on Facebook. I'm like, oh, they do that. Oh, okay, cool.
Well, I've
But
seen,
I'm
like,
just,
some,
like,
like,
not really-
queer, like, poetry night thingies. Or,
Yeah.
you know, like, or themed poetry things towards whatever.
Right. And I mean,
know?
my boss is queer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Connection.
yeah, and like they're probably very pro that kind of
Yeah.
things, but
Yeah.
again, I don't really know.
Yeah. It's always funny, though, to me, like, because I feel like Olympia is smaller than I think it is.
Yeah.
And same with the Evergreen in a way. And this is so funny when everyone knows each other, but then also everyone in, like, different communities totally knows everyone in that community. You know?
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
Yeah, Evergreen is pretty small. I definitely, this sounds terrible right now, but I need to do it sometime when I'm young. But I need to, like, go to a bar in a bigger city, you know, where
Yeah, totally.
like an actual, like, where people are drinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like where actually people are. Yeah,
Young
like
people
Seattle.
are drinking.
I totally get you.
Yeah. Okay, so we will be closing out today's podcast with a question for the masses. Today's question: when does a midnight snack become an early breakfast?
Good news, you can now find us on Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, CastBox, and Messy. Just search for Basically Misled.
Send us show ideas and answer our burning questions at basicallymisled@gmail.com. Seriously, people.
Yeah, and thank you, Sarah, for being on our podcast.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
thank you.
It's been very fun.
Yeah. Thanks for listening and good luck with your future endeavors.